Hi CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we're going to learn how to make these really cute springtime gnomes. You can see that mine have some hearts on them, and that's because I'm going to be giving them for Valentine's presents. I'm going to turn them into keychains actually. But these are great for springtime. You can do whatever you want with them. You can hang them around the house. You know, you can put them in your little gardens, whatever you want to do with them. And like I said, keychains, things like that are great. So I already have a video on how to do these little hearts, so I'm going to link that in the description box below. But this is definitely beginner friendly because there's actually very little crochet that's going to go on in these. I'm going to teach you how to make these tiny flowers today, but that's really all the crochet that there is, okay? So it's definitely great for a beginner who wants to use yarn to make something, okay? So these are pretty different in the way that they're made, but not really. So I'm going to show you as we go along the difference in these two and how you can make them both. I'm probably going to end up with this one though, but I'm still going to show you how to do them, and I'll still do the braids on the side and everything, okay? So let's get right into our materials. For your materials today, you're going to need either a paper towel, the inside of a paper towel, or a toilet paper, and we're gonna cut that and use that to make the brim for the hat. You're going to need cotton balls, and the cotton balls are going to go up inside of the hat to give it some stability, to make it stand up the way this stands up, okay? And then you're going to need whatever yarn that you're using for the hat, whatever yarn you want to use for the body. As you can see for this one, I actually mixed the white with this yarn up here. And so you can do that. That's another thing that's great about these. You can individualize these and make them all your own. But this is the yarn that I use for mine. It's a chunky Premier yarn. I got it at Walmart. And that's what I used for the hat. I just used Red Heart White for the bottom, and then I used just some different colors that I had of scrap yarn for the little flowers and the hearts, okay? So, and then for the braids, I use this same color up here for this, okay? So then you're also going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a hot glue gun. You're going to need a wooden bead for the nose. And I'm just telling you exactly what I use. You can use anything you want. You could use a button, you could crochet a little circle and put it there. You know, you don't have to use exactly what I'm using, okay? But that's what I used for that, and I think that's pretty much all the materials. So let's go ahead and get into this tutorial, okay? I'm gonna take this paper, and I've already like cut this for one of those. So this was a toilet paper, the inside of a toilet paper. So I'm gonna cut another one and do it thicker, because I think I had it thicker for mine. Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker, but either way will be fine, okay? And this is what you're gonna wrap your yarn around, okay? So we've got that. And so now I'm gonna take my yarn and I'm gonna cut off about 12-inch pieces to go all around this, okay? And I'm going to fold them in half, just like this. Right in half. And then I'm going to place that inside here, and then I'm going to go through the top just like this. And then again, I'm going to fold in half. And I'm going to try to go the same way because I want these pieces to be like right the same on the outside, okay? So I'm going to go in, pull up, and then I'm going to scooch those close together, okay? And see right there, my knot is visible on both sides, so that's why it's important to do it exactly the same way, okay? So then I'm going to, again, fold in half. Okay, so we have our hat wrapped all the way around, and I do want to tell you, since we will be putting cotton balls to stuff these, you want to make sure that you have this very full. So when you get to the end and you think you have no more to go, push it over and add a couple more, okay? So that's really important for this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to press all these back into the top just like this. Keep pressing in. Just like this. Make sure that you got all the bits of yarn coming out of the top. See, there's still some in there. Just make sure they're all pressed down and you got them all. You can shake it out. Use your hands to pull it through. And see, already you can see a hat starting to form, okay? And so now what you're going to do is you're going to take a long piece off and you're going to use that to tie off, okay? Now, so for the difference in these two, this one is just going straight up and this one is going to the side, as you can see. So what I did for this one that's going off to the side is I just basically pulled up to, you know, the same place, okay? So I'm gonna lay this flat. I'm gonna go right under it. And then I'm gonna go right up to the top where I wanna be. And I'm going to tie off, okay? Just like that. Now for the one that, and you want to pull these so they're extra tight, you don't have any loose ends, just like this. Okay. And then again, tighten. Okay. And then I'm going to tie a knot. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do a knot on the other side, just like that. And so for the other one, what I did was I just basically pulled all of this over to the side like this. And then I tied another piece around here to keep it over this way. And then I just cut my scragglies, okay? So that's why that looks like that. And that's why it'll stay in that position, is because I tied another piece right there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to place our cotton balls inside of there. And then you're going to do that for both of these, whichever one you choose. I'm just going to take a bunch of cotton balls and I'm just going to press them up inside. And this is just going to give it its rigidity up here. You want to make sure you don't put too many because it will cause the yarn to spread, but you do want enough to cause it to, you know, really stand up there, okay? So I'm just going to fill it in right to the bottom, right there. And that should be enough, just like that, okay? And then for this gnome, which is the one that we're actually making, I already showed you about this one, about how to tie that off. But for this one, you're just literally going to cut off the top of the hat, okay? So that's all you're going to do, is you're just going to cut off, and you're going to cut it off pretty short. So that's why we made such a tight tie around there. We want to make sure that it doesn't come undone, okay? So, and you can even cut it shorter than that. Just like this. Okay, and then you've got your little hat just like that. Now, if for some reason you see separation and you see the cotton balls coming through, that means that you probably did not put enough yarn around this, okay? So you'll need to just kind of undo and start over and try to get more yarn wrapped around your hat so that you can't see the cotton. And I really think that for this hat, the kind of thicker yarn does work better, but you could still use Red Heart. You just need to put enough on there, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the body. And as you can tell, the differences in this one is this puff is actually turned into an actual puff, whereas this one kind of lays flat more. So I'm going to show you how to do both while I'm doing it, but this is the one we're going to end up with. And as you can tell, this one has a mustache, and I'm going to show you how to do that when we're doing this puff, okay? So a lot of people, you can use a puff maker if you want, but the way I do a puff is I just literally put it around my hands. So that's just the way I do it. And I've counted this and I go around my hand about 90 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flex my fingers apart and I'm just going to wrap this around kind of loosely, you know, not real loose, but not real tight. And I'm going to go around 90 to 100 times, just like this. So I took that off my hand and I also added some of this other color, okay? So I'm literally just gonna take it off my hand there. And then I'm going to take a piece of my white yarn and I'm going to tie it in the middle. And I'm going to place it down on my table like this, just like that. And I'm going to tie it off right in the middle, just like this. I want to make sure I get the middle. Okay, so then I'm going to knot it, and then I'm going to turn it over the other way, as we want to make sure this doesn't come undone. Okay, just like that. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut each side. So like I said, you could do this with a pom-pom maker, but to really get, if you want to make the one that looks like this, you know, you're not really fully making it into a pom-pom, okay? This one is actually a full pom-pom. So we're just going to cut the ends. Of both sides. So I've still got this on my hand like this, and that's just got my guide for the middle. And then I'm just going to pick it up by this piece right here, and I'm just going to shake it out, make sure I don't have any pieces down here at the end. Okay, so to make, like I said, to make this one right here, I would literally, just like you're making a pom-pom, I would just keep cutting all around till I got a perfect little ball. But to make this one right here, it's a little bit different, okay? You're still gonna trim it and you're gonna do different things to it, but you know, to kind of get it to go around this way, but it's not the same as just a regular pom-pom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay this out just like this. I'm gonna keep this up so it shows me where my middle is. And I'm just gonna lay it flat on the table like this, okay? And then I'm going to start kind of using my fingers to manipulate this yarn to go the way I want it to go, okay? So because we're going to be making mustache out of this, I want some of my yarn to go over here and some of it to go down. And as you can see, it kind of does that naturally, okay? So then I'm going to take some of my white yarn again, and I'm going to cut 2 long pieces, because we're going to use those to make the mustache, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a big piece of my yarn like this, big clump rather of yarn, just like that. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to go right under this, and I'm going to tie a knot. And this is going to give us our little mustache. It's going to give it separation. So tie again, just like that. And then if you want the knot to be in the back, you can just turn it around this way, okay? And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna take a big chunk over on this side, and I'm gonna go under it as well. Just like that. And we're going to tie it off. And again, if you want this to be in the back, just pull it around like that, okay? And so now you have your little cute mustache, and now you can start trimming this up. So we can go ahead and cut those 2 long pieces, and we can cut the long pieces that go over here where we just tied our mustache on. And now all you're going to do is just flatten it with your hand like this, and you're going to start cutting around into a circle. So just like that, you're kind of making a circle pattern, a half circle, and you're just getting all your ends just like this. okay? And it's up to you how short you want it, how long you want it. You can turn over in the back too, and as you can see, it's kind of layered. That's what you want. You want it to look like a layered beard. So that's why it looks this way, okay? So then I'll just turn it over, and I think that looks good. I'm gonna leave it just like that. I might trim this up a little bit later. I'm not sure. I might do it right now. Let's see. Just want the mustache to be even there. Okay. And like I said, if you want it to be like the other one, just keep going till you get a puff. All right. So now what you're going to do is, hopefully you've had your glue gun heating up, because we're going to use that now. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to place the head onto the gnome body, just like this. Okay, so you find the side that you like the most, and then you just are going to put it on like that. Okay, so I think I like that one the most. So I'm going to take my glue gun, and I'm going to place glue all around the inside here like this. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to carefully not get it on myself. And then I'm just going to place it right here. Okay. And I'm going to press down just like that. And then you're going to hold it till it sets. Now, while it's doing that, you've still got glue right there in the middle. And so you can take whichever, you know, bead that you want, or button or anything, and you can go ahead and place that in there. A lot of times there'll be enough glue to put it right there, but actually I'm not sure that I have enough. Hold on, let me see. Actually, I do. Okay. So we're just going to place that right in there with the extra glue that we had, so we don't have to use any more glue. Okay. And so there you've basically got your gnome, but I do want to show you how to do the little decorations. So I'm also going to show you how to do the braids, okay? Because sometimes that can be difficult to try to figure out, you know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that big puffy like this, just like we did for the head. And I'm going to do that 4 times for each side, just like this. And basically with my variegated yarn, I'm just kind of getting whatever I get, and I like that. But if you don't like that, you could definitely, you know, not use variegated yarn, or use a different variegated yarn, or cut when you want to. But I just kind of like the look of that, okay? So I'm going to make 2 of these, right? And I'm going to fold it in half. Now I'm going to take my hook, and I'm going to come right along the edge, right under the hat right here. And this is where I'm going to bring in my yarn to make the braid, okay? So I'm going to bring it in right there, just like that. Make sure that it's in half. And then I'm just going to braid. So I'm going to cut it into halves, and then I'm going to braid all the way down. You can make these braids as long or short as you want them, but I'm going to end it right there. And then I'm going to cut off a long piece of my yarn to gather it all together. So then I'm going to tie a knot. Just like this. And you can move that around to the back if you want, like I did for the beard. Okay. And there you've got a braid. All right. And then I'm going to do the other side exactly the same. And then I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so now we have both our braids on. And what I would do, and you know, like I did with this one, I think that the braids look better with just the puff without the mustache, but I wanted to show you how to do them. So this one is going to have both, okay? But as you can see, I think it's a little bit too busy. So I'm going to cut these at the end here just like this. Okay. And then this one now has braids. All right. So, but just remember, you can trim this up any way you like it. I still think I'm going to do some trimming on the bottom here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the little flowers. So for this one, and like I said before, I do have a heart tutorial. I'll put it in the description below if you want to add the little hearts to yours. I put a little heart here in the mustache. The beard. And so what I'll do for this one is I'll probably put a little flower, and then I'll put little flowers on the hat, and then I might put a flower on the braids. Okay, but I'm just going to show you how to do the flower, and then I'm going to show you how to glue it on. I'm going to do a slip knot, and then I'm going to chain 4, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'm going to slip stitch to my first stitch to make a circle, and then I'm going to be working in the middle of that circle. So I'm going to chain 2, and then into the middle of the circle I'm going to put 1/2 double crochet. So that chain of 2 counts as a 1/2 double crochet, and that counts. And then of course we have our 1/2 double crochet. Then I'm going to go back into the circle, and I'm going to work a slip stitch. Then I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to go back into the circle, and I'm going to do a 1/2 double crochet. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2, go back into the circle, do a 1/2 double crochet. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch. So that's 5 of those, and I want 5 of those, and now I have 3, so we're going to do 2 more. Chain 2, go into the circle, do a 1/2 double crochet, and then into the circle, do a slip stitch. Do that one more time. Chain 2, go into the space, do a 1/2 double crochet, and then go back in and do a slip stitch. Okay, so that's all I want for mine is 5 petals. So I'm going to pull tight, and that's going to pull that in, and then I'm just going to cut off. Okay. Then I'm going to use a darning needle to work in my ends, okay, because these are going to be on my gnomes, so I want them to look really good, and I don't want them to come apart. So I'm going to pull tight, and I'm going to work in my ends. And I'm going to work around the circle here. And the back of my flower. Just like this. Okay, and then I can cut off. And then I'm going to work in my other end. Now the thing about making these little flowers is a lot of times people will work over their work and they'll think that'll be enough. They don't have to work in their ends for, you know, the piece in the middle. But when you're making little things like this, it's really important that you work in your ends because they can come undone, especially when it's small like this and you didn't really work it in enough because it's so small that you definitely want to work it in to make sure. Okay, and so just like that. And then what I'd do is I'd make, you know, several of these in different colors, and then I would place them wherever I wanted. So like for this, I did a little line across and did a flower once on the brim, once in the middle, once at the top. and then I added the little heart, okay? So I would do the same thing over here. I put a little flower here, a little flower here, a little on top, and then I probably put one in the beard and just to cover up these little ends right here on the braid, okay? But so all I do is I make sure that I've got the back of my flower here, and I put a little glue dot right here in the middle, just like that. Now you can sew these, and if you want, and then I just place it right there on the brim of the hat, okay? And then I would put another one here and another one here, all in a line going across, okay? So that's how you do this. Like I said, it's great fun. It seems like a lot, but it's really easy to do. I just wanted to show you all the little tricks and things to make it look good. And for this one, like I said, I didn't even put any flowers on it because I had all this, you know, fluff at the top. I just put little hearts at the end. So you could, like I said, use flowers, hearts, anything you want, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that red notify me bell below so you can get notified of my future videos. And if you have any comments or you need any help, you can comment below on YouTube, but you can also find me on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And that's all in the description below. So I'll see you again soon, guys. Happy crocheting. Spring is coming. Bye-bye.